Hello and welcome to the Edexcel mathematics paper. This is the foundation tier. It's paper 2. It's a calculator paper. It's entitled 1MA1/2F. The time allowed is 1 hour 30 minutes. The instructions say that you must have a ruler graduated in centimetres and millimetres, a protractor, a pair of compasses, a pen, HB pencil, eraser and a calculator. The instructions are to use black ink or ballpoint pen. This is very important. Often these papers get photocopied and blue ink doesn't photocopy for some reason, and if the examiner can't see the scanned image of your work, they can't mark it. Fill in the boxes at the top of this page with your name, centre number and candidate number. That's very important. If you don't fill in those boxes, the examiners don't know who you are, so they can't award you your marks. Answer all questions. This one I would take with a pinch of salt. All that means is you will be marked on every single question. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to try and answer every question. If you're stuck on a question, go on to the next question. Hoover up all the marks that you can get, and then in any time you've got at the end of the paper, come back and have a go at the questions that you found difficult. Answer the questions in the spaces provided. There may be more space than you need. Do not write in areas where it says do not answer in those areas, because the area that's scanned is the area that will be marked. If the area is not scanned, the examiner doesn't see your work and can't mark it. Calculators may be used. If your calculator does not have a pi button, take the value of pi to be 3.142 unless the question instructs otherwise. Well, that's fair enough, but quite frankly these days I don't know of any scientific calculator that doesn't have a pi button, and you really should have a scientific calculator. And above all, you have your own calculator that you are familiar with. Different calculators have their own quirks, and you really don't want to be going in with a borrowed calculator and you're not exactly sure how that calculator works. Diagrams are not accurately drawn unless otherwise indicated. You must show all your working out. That is very important. Even if you get the answer wrong, you can sometimes pick up some marks for the way you've worked it out. And also, even if you get the answer right, you can miss out on marks that would have been awarded for your working out. It's very important to show your working out. Okay, it says information. The total mark on this paper is 80. Now, if you've got 1 hour and 30 minutes to do the whole paper, that's 90 minutes to do the whole paper. So that's roughly 1 minute for each mark, with 10 minutes at the end to go back and check your work. The marks for each question are shown in brackets. Use this as a guide as to how much time to spend on each question. Again, 1 minute per mark, so if it's worth 3 marks, you're looking to spend about 3 minutes on the question. Advice: read each question carefully before you start to answer it. That's very good advice. Keep an eye on the time. Try to answer every question. Check your answers if you have time at the end. That's all very, very good advice. The only thing I would add to that is make sure you go to the toilet before you go into the exam. Although you are allowed to go to the toilet during the exam, you're not awarded any extra time for the time you had to go to the toilet. So you miss time, and as we've already noted, time is marks, and at the end of the day, marks is what you're after in this exam. Okay, so picking up in question 1, write down the value of 3 in the number 4,376, and as I've just done, you want to vocalize it or sub-vocalize it in your mind when you say it out. 4,376, so you know the value of the 3 is 300. This is just your hundreds, tens, units. The 6 is worth 6, the 7 is worth 70, the 3 is worth 300, the 4 is worth 4,000. Write 7/16 as a decimal. This is just a case of using your calculator. And it's very easy. 7 divided by 16 equals 0.4375. 0.4375. And there you go, that's a straightforward mark. Here is a list of numbers: 4, 7, 9, 25, 27, 31, 64. From the numbers in the list, write down a cube number. If you memorised your square numbers and your cube numbers, which you really should do for your exam, then you just know that 27 and 64 are both cube numbers. You'd probably also know just by looking at them that 4 is a square number, 7 is a prime number, 9 is a square number, 25 is a square number, 27 is a cube number, 31 is a prime number, and 64 is a cube number. If you don't know that, then you would have to get your calculator and try and get the cube root of each number. But if you think about it logically, you can save yourself time rather than going from left to right. You can say the smallest cube number other than 1 is going to be 8, because 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. So therefore 4 and 7 are out straight away. So you might want to think, why don't I go from the biggest number and come down, because the cube numbers are likely to be the bigger numbers. And then you can start from 64. You take your calculator, you type 64. On my calculator I would type inverse cube to get the cube root, and it comes to 4. 4 cubed is 64. So I already know the answer without having to guess any more. Okay, in question 4 it says find the value of 2.8 minus 4.5 all squared plus the cube root of 5.832. This is just a question of can you use a calculator, and this is fairly straightforward. We do 2.8 minus 0.45. I'm going to do equals because that's in brackets, so we actually have to evaluate the brackets first, and then we square it. So press our square button. That comes to 5.5225. And then we're adding the cube root of 5.832. So if I add 5.832, and as I've already said, to get the cube root I just go inverse cubed. It's already algebraically programmed, so it will evaluate the cube root first. And that's 1.8, which is added to the 5.225. And the answer is 7.3225. And that's all there is to it. I'll just check that that's the right answer. 7.3225, yeah. Okay, I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.